Gao Yong accidentally ran into Xiao Hua working as a game companion in an internet cafe. However, considering her dignity, he chose to pretend he hadn't seen anything. But the next day, she was targeted by a group of thugs. Taking advantage of a moment when the boss wasn't paying attention, they dragged her into an alley and let the rain pour down on her. In despair, Xiao Hua eventually decided to go up to the school rooftop. It wasn't until the class reunion 10 years later that the class president told me that Xiao Hua had secretly loved me all along. I laughed bitterly because, back then, my eyes were only on Lu Ruyan, the green-eyed beauty, which led me to forever miss the girl who truly loved me. If I could return to September 23rd, I would never let the same tragedy happen again. There was a faint scent in the air. Then, a stunning figure stepped into the room. "Hello, I am companion number 036. Before she could finish speaking, she suddenly turned her head and looked behind her. The moment our eyes met, the entire room fell into a strange silence. Looking at the breathtaking woman before me, I couldn't help but swallow hard. At that moment, Gu Qinghan was wearing a sleek black dress that perfectly outlined her alluring curves. Her long, white legs, wrapped in sheer black stockings, appeared even more slender and mesmerizing. What was even more terrifying was, I was so stunned by her beauty that my worldview was completely refreshed. Gu Qinghan was also frozen in shock. Her back instantly straightened as if a tower had collapsed. "Jiang Che, why are you here?" Noticing my intense gaze, Qinghan's face instantly turned pale. She tightly grasped the edges of her black stockings and looked as if she was about to cry. She never expected that the boy she secretly loved would book her as a game companion at an esports hotel. This was bad? Would he misunderstand? She tried to run towards the door. But in the next second, I reacted and rushed forward, grabbing the bunny ears on top of Gu Qinghan's head. I accidentally pulled too hard, and the ears came off. Gu Qinghan let out a soft whimper but didn't slow down at all, still running toward the door. Seeing this, I became anxious. At this moment, I absolutely couldn't let Gu Qinghan leave. If she went out now, those thugs might order her next. With her beauty, those scumbags would surely. And that would lead to the same tragedy as in my past life. My expression froze. Then, I saw something shocking. Her bunny girl outfit tore so easily. The sound of fabric ripping echoed through the room. Gu Qinghan's entire body trembled, her face turning red as she screamed. She hurriedly turned around, using her hands to cover her chest, her tear-filled eyes glaring at me. I was stunned, awkwardly scratching my head. I didn't do it on purpose. Do you believe me?" Hearing this, Gu Qinghan burst into even louder sobs, her cheeks turning an even deeper shade of red. I quickly shut and locked the door. Facing the stubborn boy in front of her, Gu Qinghan's fear reached its peak. "Jiang Che, let me go." She glanced at me helplessly. I casually picked up the bunny ears and toyed with them. "Let you go? If you run into those thugs outside, things will be much worse." Hearing this, Gu Qinghan's face turned bright red with rage. She angrily threw punches at the air. "Let me out." I just smiled faintly and slowly approached her step by step. "You want to leave? That's not up to you now." It was her first time working as a companion. Gu Qinghan had heard rumors that some clients would act inappropriately. When she saw the heated look in my eyes, her face instantly turned pale. She unconsciously stepped back. This guy, has he lost his mind to desire? Gu Qinghan's thoughts were in turmoil. She didn't know what to do. Seeing her flustered state, my smile grew even wider. Gu Qinghan kept retreating until she finally tripped and fell onto the soft bed. "Don't come any closer." Seeing her curled up on the bed, nearly surrendering, I decided to tease her a little. I stepped forward and gently lifted her chin. With a teasing tone, I whispered in her ear. "Or what?" Gu Qinghan's body trembled even more. Tears streamed down her face. You always bully me. I have nothing left, yet you still bully me." Watching her curl up, hugging her knees, crying her heart out, I was stunned. I hadn't expected her reaction. I only meant to tease her, but she. Hearing my words, Gu Qinghan's sobbing slowed down. She hesitated for a moment, then slowly lifted her tear-stained face. Her bright eyes blinked as she looked at me. The next second, she suddenly threw herself into my arms, hugging my neck and crying loudly. Feeling her trembling body in my embrace, I could only gently pat her back. After about 2.5 minutes, she finally stopped sobbing. Gu Qinghan noticed my wet shirt, blushed, and turned her head away in embarrassment. She couldn't believe she had willingly thrown herself into Jiang Che's arms. Would he think she was an easy girl? I simply shook my head. Looking at the beautiful girl in my arms, I couldn't help but swallow again. "Jiang Che, where are you looking?" Realizing his gaze, Gu Qinghan glanced down at herself and immediately jumped away from his embrace. Her face turned crimson as she stammered. "Why, you pervert? I scratched my head awkwardly. You can't blame me. Any man would react this way. Hearing this, Gu Qinghan's face turned even redder. She took a deep breath, crossed her arms, and said softly, "Thank you, Jiang Che. I feel much better now." She turned to leave, but before she could take 2 steps, I pulled her back again. "Jiang Che. Let me go. I'm really fine now." No. She had just been crying moments ago, and now she was suddenly acting calm. How could I let her go just like that? I picked up the black coat from the chair and threw it to her. "You want to go out wearing that torn outfit?" Looking at the ripped bunny girl outfit and then at the coat, Gu Qinghan hesitated before reluctantly putting it on. "Jiang Che, where are you taking me?" She turned around and looked at me softly. "Where else? To my place, of course." Gu Qinghan's mind went blank. Was there something wrong with her hearing? Before she could react, I pulled her into my arms. She struggled but eventually stopped resisting. Blushing, she allowed me to carry her out of the hotel room. Water dripped down their faces as they stepped out of the elevator. After entering the living room, I placed Gu Qinghan on the soft couch and handed her a pair of blue men's slippers. "I'll buy a pair of women's slippers tomorrow." Taking the slippers, Gu Qinghan blushed as she slipped her feet inside. "You might catch a cold." "I'm not that weak." "But what if you get a fever?" Gu Qinghan hesitated. Seeing that I wouldn't budge, she sighed. "How about, we take a bath together? Then we won't catch a cold." You're shameless." Blushing furiously, Gu Qinghan grabbed the towel and bolted into the bathroom, slamming the door behind her.